Well, it's 7 p.m. here in Ventnor, New Jersey, and Bethesda, Maryland, and it's Saturday night with Zach and Ray, and once again, Zach is pretending he's a mushroom farmer, and
Mhm.
he has kept me in the dark all day as to what today's show is about. How
Uh,
how how are you, Farmer Zach?
I am doing great. We've got a lot of interesting data that I'm going to pull up on the screen here in just a second. Want to remind everyone the promo for YAA membership ends at the end of this month. IFS get you 20% off. So if we can help you as you're navigating buying a car and all the other fun stuff, we are here to help. Promotion out of the way, pops. I need to shout out, thank you, Michael, over at the Apple store here in Bethesda. We helped him buy a car. He came over and thanked you and me for the work that we did. So thanks for coming over and saying hi, Michael. Pops,
Did,
tonight we
wait, did he give you like a free MacBook or anything?
No, he let me pay.
Did, did he
We
give you
are
a did he
going
give you a did he give you a discount of any kind?
no discount, no.
But we helped him out.
Pops, here's what I did. This is what I did this afternoon. This is what happens when Laura goes to a bachelorette party and I'm not allowed to join, obviously. This is what I did, Dad. I dug in to quarterly earnings reports, manuscripts from
Yes.
the executive teams at different financial institutions. And I was doing research, Dad, on CECL. Do you remember what CECL stands for, Pops?
It's expected credit losses of some kind.
Current expected credit losses. Tonight, Dad, I want to give an update on the repo bubble, the auto finance bubble, and we can also talk about used car prices as well. Then let's go to the chat, and also there's some great success stories in our community that I want to bring up as well. But CECL, Dad, let's just dig into this
Yes.
for one quick second so everyone understands. Current expected credit losses is a credit loss accounting standard that was issued by the Financial Accounting Standards Board on June 16th, 2016. Why the heck on a Saturday night are
Yeah.
we all joining here to talk about CECL? Because, Dad,
Yes.
CECL is one of the only leading indicators that we have that is going to
Yes.
tell us what's going on in the financial markets for consumers, their auto loans, and their mortgages as well, and honestly, their credit card debt too. Because we
Yes.
can look at the loan delinquency rate, which we have the latest data, and it's ticked up, but that's a little bit backwards looking. CECL is financial institutions setting aside money for what they expect to happen.
So CECL is the bank's version of the stock market in that it is forward looking.
Mm-hmm.
And it really doesn't care what happened yesterday or even today. They're only thinking about what should be happening sometime in the future.
The CECL standard focuses on, quote, estimation of expected losses over the life of the loans, while the current standard relies on incurred losses. So the reason this was brought about in 2016 was we needed some sort of measurement and protection, honestly, prudence from big corporations that provide a lot of money to, us consumers. We needed a measurement of how much are you essentially setting aside in reserves for expected losses. That's
Oh,
what CECL is.
okay.
So,
So
Dad, you
so
start. Yep.
I was going to say so in all your digging, what did you find?
Well, let's start with Credit Acceptance Corp. We've talked about Credit Acceptance Corp a few times on this show, back on the Ray and Zach channel, here on the
Yes.
YA channel. Higher loss provision cuts Credit Acceptance Corp's Q2 income. Dad, Credit Acceptance Corporation, we'll jump right into it here. Their income fell $107.4 million, which for perspective here is 63% year over year, because they set aside $178 million as a precaution against future auto loan losses. This was a huge increase in their
Mhm.
CECL reserves. Can you give a little context here for our audience? What is Credit Acceptance Corp? Who are they?
Credit Acceptance Corporation is one of the, if not the largest, a subprime lender. So obviously, if you're a subprime lender and inflation is rearing its ugly head, and incomes aren't able to stretch quite as far as they used to, then one would assume that the people you lent money to, your borrowers with less than stellar credit, are probably going to find it more difficult to keep up with their payments moving forward. And more than likely, you'll have an increase in repossessions, indicating that you'll have an increase in losses, so that you need to set aside more money for those expected losses now.
Another financial institution, Dad, the largest auto loan provider in the United States, Ally Financial. We had their quarterly earnings from a while ago, Dad. Provision
Yes.
for credit losses increased 336 million year over year to 304 million, reflecting CECL reserve build attributable to robust retail auto origination volume compared to reserve release activity in the prior year. Cut through all this, Dad, they Ally Financial, they saw their net income go down because they also set aside more money for CECL reserves. So you're starting to see a little bit of a pattern here, right?
Yes, yeah, I believe there's, at least with the largest lender in the automotive sector and the largest lender in the subprime sector, we are seeing both of them set aside more money for expected future losses. Do they know something we don't?
All right, so then you do a little more digging here, guys. This is truly Laura's out of town. I went on a 44-mile bike ride. I read a book and I listened to jazz music. I feel honestly like a very old soul on a day like today, Dad, because then I read a bunch of quarterly earnings statements from a bunch of financial institutions. I think our investors probably feel good about investing in us, though, because look at me, this is what I do. Anyway, Dad,
Yeah.
you don't have to look that far. First Citizens Bank shares non-GAAP EPS missed. Okay, provisions for credit losses adjusted for the CECL day two provision increased 91 million, primarily due to changes in CECL macroeconomic forecasts and loan growth. Okay, so this is First Citizens Bank. They're
Okay.
seeing an increase in their CECL. This one was from One Main Holding Corporation. We've got here and that turned out to be a very, very smart approach. This is a quote from, let me get the person right, Micah Conrad, I guess like their CFO, something like that. And that turned out to be a very, very smart approach, and it's been serving us well. When you look at our non-TDR reserve rate, putting our TDR book on to the side right now, it stands about 40 basis points or about 70 or so million higher than CECL day one levels, which would have been at January 1, 2020. They're saying, okay, now we're increasing by $70 million or so our CECL levels. This is from KKR Real Estate, Dad. I'll take on your first CECL question first. So as mentioned, we did take up our CECL reserves to 34 million at the end of the quarter. Blackstone, Bread Financial, Dad. Every single, you don't even have to do that much research, guys. It's just a Google search of CECL and like, Seeking Alpha or anything like that. CECL reserves, Dad, across the board going up.
So what do they know that we don't know, or what do they know that perhaps they haven't been reporting to the credit bureaus?
Well, is it so much that they haven't been reporting it to the credit bureaus as much as we've, for the first time since 2016, Dad, have a forward-looking projection of what these financial institutions think is going to happen to their loan portfolio? Everything before that, remember, the previous financial accounting tool for this was not CECL. It was based on the losses you've already experienced. We have headlines in automotive news, Dad, that read along the lines of late car payments top 2019 levels, but defaults still down. Well, that's because that data is looking at the past 3 months, not the next 3 months. And I think, I don't know if there's information being withheld, Dad, as much as it's just we actually have a way to measure what they expect the future to look like.
Yeah, but we have read articles in regards to this, some quoting Experian,
Yeah.
Jonathan Smoke from
Yeah.
Cox, their head economist, saying, "Well, there really isn't going to be a repo bubble because repo delinquencies are below historical rates." But all these institutions are increasing their reserves for expected losses. So perhaps, just perhaps, maybe I'm reading between the lines. Maybe I'm suggesting something that shouldn't be suggested, but maybe they're not providing all the information to the credit reporting agencies, the credit bureaus, so that they would have, so that those agencies don't have as accurate a tool to utilize when it comes to anticipating what future repos might look like.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
because if realistically all the indicators were that we're still well below historical levels,
Mm-hmm.
then why are all these lending institutions setting aside more and more and more money to cover their expected losses? the two don't mesh. They
Wait.
don't,
What was that? What was that? Here,
they
wait.
don't
I'll be. No, you joined mine.
they don't mesh,
A little higher,
buddy.
pops. A little
Yeah.
higher.
They don't mesh. They just don't mesh. Like we didn't mesh. They it maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm a contrarian. Maybe I don't like to take things at face value. Maybe I question everything that I see. Okay. But you can't tell me that repos or delinquencies are well below historical levels, okay, while all these lending institutions are setting aside many hundreds of millions of dollars to cover their expected losses. Well, the only reason they would expect to have those losses is because they're seeing something going on within
Yeah.
their loan portfolio, like their customers are falling further and further behind, and
Yep.
a greater number of those customers are falling behind. So I don't know. I'm just asking the question. Are they sharing all the information with the credit bureaus? And my suspicion would be that they're not. That's just me.
Let's pull this up, pops. What's the good news? And before we jump into the good news, I actually want to do a quick roll call. Where's everyone joining us from tonight, pops? I'm very curious. In the chat, let us know where you're joining us from. And what do you want to know, Dad? What do you want to know about where folks are joining us from? Do you want to know like what the I don't know, the mayor's name is? Do you want to know?
No, I don't want to know anything about any of the politicians anywhere.
Okay, no, okay. Take politicians. Like, I don't know. I just like a fun fact about where you're from.
The fun fact is, I want to know what the go-to place is when you want to get a good meal. That's it. And tell me what that meal should be, just in case I ever show up in one of these towns. Because as you know, and as I always explain to my salespeople, the way to my heart was directly through my stomach. So I like food. I want to know where's a good place to eat and what should I get.
All right, perfect. And then I will likely go back to this chat. We'll do another cross-country road trip, and we'll have all the places to go check out. All right, Dad, what is the good news?
Oh, my God, wait a second. Ann Garber's from Cherry Hill, New Jersey. My first wife, who you never knew, was from Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
There it is. Things I love to talk about on live
streams.
Yeah,
well, sure. And what you might not remember or know was that Muhammad Ali, who lived in the Phoenix area when we lived in Phoenix, also at one time lived in Cherry Hill.
Oh, very cool. I had no clue.
Yeah, well, that's why I share.
Oh, we've got so many great. Wow, this is awesome. There's so many great restaurant suggestions.
I can't wait till we go on another road trip.
Thank you, everyone. This is fantastic. All right.
Yeah.
Dad, what is the good news? Let's jump back to this question. What is the good news? And we've already started to see this. And honestly, Empire Foundation's got it right. Most dealers in Chicago are having anxiety attacks because they are stuck holding the bag. Dad, we are seeing, you want to know what the good news is? The good news is you're seeing wholesale and retail used car prices.
In some parts of the country. I mean, because I see the comments of people basically yelling at us that, well, they're not going down where I am. Okay, well, you're in New York. They're just programmed to try and take advantage of you in New York. But in other parts of the country, the dealers are actually adjusting to the fact that wholesale values, especially on luxury vehicles and luxury SUVs, are dropping like a rock.
Yeah, they truly are. Like we see it even. Let me see if I can find one here. I think it may be this one. Let me see. Yeah, here's a perfect example. All right, let me share my screen with everyone. A perfect example of what we're seeing. And then obviously there's the success stories in the YA community that show this as well, Dad. We've got here a 2018 BMW 3 Series here in Chevy Chase, or Bethesda, excuse me, but at Chevy Chase Acura. The advertised price is $30,999. When I scroll down, Dad.
Yes.
It's been 54 days on the market at this dealer.
Yes.
Originally listed on July 28th for $32,472. On August 16th. Yep.
Yeah. I was going to say, it looks like it's gone down a total of almost $1,500. But yeah, dealers aren't adjusting their pricing.
So we 100% are starting to see more negotiability and also declines on the
Yes.
retail side. Okay, so that's the one good news scenario out of all this. And again, as we see, unfortunately, when we unfortunately see repossessions increase, that'll likely continue to put some pressure on wholesale and retail prices. Want to pull up a good comment here from Igor. We've got from his trip that he went on, Pops. I know what the
Yeah.
major banks are thinking based on what I heard on my trip. They're all panicking. Banks don't want to tell the truth because once people know the truth, people will stop spending and banks want consumers to spend. And I actually think there's a ton of validity to that point because the
Hmm.
economy here in the United States, that if I'm not mistaken, what is it, like 2/3 of it is consumer spending? And so the
Um,
moment we can talk ourselves into trouble if we allow ourselves to.
oh, absolutely. And sometimes, if you keep repeating the same storyline in the same headlines, they become a self-fulfilling prophecy. I've seen price drops on car gurus as well. Um, yeah, I mean, and there are pockets of the country where there aren't, where the dealers are holding firm. And I see the comments where people have said, yeah, but the dealers own the cars for too much money, so they're not going to discount them. Well, smart dealers do, because they know the value of that car is not going up, it's only going down. So do they want to sell it at an even greater loss 30 days from now, or do they want to take a somewhat smaller loss today? So just because you paid too much for something doesn't mean you still get to sell it for too much, or sell it for more than the too much you paid for it. The market actually controls what the pricing is. And if people have stepped away, and people are starting to, and we say it over and over and over again, if you don't absolutely positively need to buy a car right now, don't do it. Stay out of the market. The more people that stay out of the market, the softer the market becomes, the more pressure there is on the dealers to lower the price of their inventory to encourage people to step back into the market. I don't know how to say it any plainer than that. Was that plain enough?
That was pretty damn plain. That was pretty damn good. Yeah, we and honestly, we know that a dealership would rather sell a car to a retail customer than go back to the auction. Again, we are seeing at the auction, sales rates at the auction are lower than they've been the past couple of weeks because floor prices are still too high and people simply
Yes.
aren't buying them, and they'll continue to come down. And so as a consumer, I mean, this is an opportunity if you need to buy to negotiate. I've talked a lot in different like videos I've put out, TikToks, Instagram, Dad, about how it's now a buyer's market. I am in
Hmm.
no way, shape, or form, and I need to be very clear, suggesting that the prices are reasonable. Because used car prices went up 50, 60, 40 to 60% last year.
Yes.
But it is a buyer's market in the sense that you have the leverage in those conversations on vehicles in certain areas, and in particular on different types of vehicles than you did in the past. Because Dad, the past 6 months, it was a seller's market. I mean, you literally had no leverage in those conversations.
Yeah, so leverage is slowly swinging back towards consumers, especially with highline sedans and SUVs. So, yeah, I mean, are we sitting here saying, gee, the prices are going to go down 35%? No. But the fact that they're going down is a good sign. The fact that there's more dealers that are willing to negotiate today than there had been is a good sign. That is shifting the leverage back to you as the consumer. Everything is on a pendulum, and the pendulum was strictly the auction run rate buys are less than okay, and the pendulum was strictly in the dealer's favor for the longest time, and will continue to be in the dealer's favor when it comes to new cars, because
Yes.
those new car shortages are going to continue probably for the next year or so. But it doesn't mean that the pendulum hasn't started on the pre-owned side to swing back towards the consumer a little bit. That's what we're talking about when we talk about the bubbles bursting, or prices are coming down. You know, if the market has dropped 99 tenths of a percent for the last 3 weeks, as somebody once said, you start extrapolating that out over 50 some weeks, and that comes out to over 30%. I don't expect to see a 30% decline, but I think it's a wonderful thing that we're seeing a consistent decline for the last 8 weeks. That's important.
Exactly, Pops. Exactly. All right, I've got so many different things that I want to pull up on the screen. First, we're going to jump to the chat. Kuno says, will this affect used motorcycles as well? Yeah, absolutely. And my
I would think
expectation
it
would be
would.
that it does too.
Yeah.
We should have specialty market update from Black Book next week so we can put a video out on that. Yeah, we got some restaurants here from Sun City,
Yeah.
West Arizona, the Arrowhead Grill, prime rib. You recognize any
Okay,
of those? No?
I could do a nice slab of prime rib. I prefer the end cut.
Legendary Ray says, bless your dad for his knowledge and wisdom. Bless you, Pops. We appreciate you.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Too Much says, man, the best place in the ATL is Papacito's Cantina. Best Tex-Mex ever. That sounds up your alley.
Well, Zach, we need to ask this very important question. Are they open for breakfast? And will they be open for breakfast on New Year's Day? Because if everything goes the way it's supposed to, you and I will be flying into Atlanta New Year's Day morning. We're probably going to need to eat before we head over to the stadium to watch our beloved Arizona Cardinals hopefully kick the Atlanta Falcons' butts.
Pop's going to leave this one to you. Can you say hi to Noel's parrot?
His name is Julio. Hey, Julio, what's going on, my little furry feathered birdie friend?
Oh, it's a Saturday. It is a
Can
Saturday.
you tell? Yeah.
All right, we'll be there. Too Much. Send me an email, zach@joinyaa.com. Let's coordinate because, yeah, we're going to be there.
Yeah.
It'll be really, really fun. All right,
Yes.
Dad, let's go to this comment here from Vincent. Thank you for the contribution. We appreciate it. Not a
Thank you,
member,
Vincent.
but I watch all your videos. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Vincent. We really appreciate
Thank you very much.
the support. Chris here. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it. Love the channel. Would really love to see you all expand into boats and power sports sales. America loves their Kawasaki's and Sea-Doos. Yeah, Black Book has data on that, Pops, and we know some folks that are in that industry. So definitely food for thought for us as we move forward.
Well, and you know how I feel about boats, so I'm scared to death of boats in the water. So I have no desire to learn about it. But yeah, that is a pretty big market, and perhaps it's something we can try to wrap our hands around.
Now, if you join us Monday through Friday over on the Ray and Zach channel, you're going to recognize this sound I'm about to play.
Really? You gotta be kidding me.
And if you don't, you should join us. Just YouTube search Ray and Zach Monday through Friday. Daily news you can use. It's a podcast, the whole 9 yards. Dad, I've got something that I've never seen before. And this came in thanks to Justice on our team. He was helping one of our members negotiate a car deal, Dad. And we've talked a lot on this channel about Toyota and Southeast Toyota distributors. I've never seen what I'm about to share on the screen before, and I don't think you have either. We're going to try and make sense of this here. Okay.
Okay.
This is at Greg LeBlanc Toyota. We're looking at a Tacoma. Okay. A 2022 Tacoma. It says it right there. You know, we've got the worksheet.
Yeah. I'll take your word for it. I can't read anything. It's
You're
so
about to be
tiny.
able to.
Okay, cool.
Here, I'm
Keep
zooming
going,
in.
keep
I'm
going.
making it bigger.
Oh,
right.
I love when it's bigger like that and I can actually see it.
Exactly, Dad. We get these printouts. We've seen these. If anyone ever tries to buy a Toyota, you're going to see a printout that looks something like this.
Yes.
And Pops, what's interesting here, we've got, you know, the MSRP is $33,230. That's not too terribly interesting. Distributor installed packages and accessories. So that comes from Southeast Toyota Distributors. They're adding $3,284 of stuff to the vehicle.
Okay.
Then we have dealer installed packages and accessories for $2,500, and our favorite delivery, processing, and handling fee, taking the total price to $40,409. Right?
Yes.
I have never before seen. Oh, go ahead.
Yes. I was going to say I'd really love just to see the Monroney label, but they don't want to provide that just yet, huh?
Pops, I have never before seen adjusted market value listed as a line item on one of these worksheets. That's, you know, these are the standard Toyota worksheets. I've truly never seen one that actually has the dealer installed option is adjusted market value. And for perspective here, for everyone that's like, well, of course, like we're hearing everyone's charging market. Yeah, that's fine. This comes from the distributor, or
Yes.
this is not the Monroney label, but it's supposed to reflect what's on the Monroney label.
And
This is the first time, Dad.
And that wouldn't be on the Monroney label.
But I'm officially asking the question, would it be, Dad? Because it's on the printout. But have you ever seen it on a sticker like this, on a printout from the distributor like this?
Well, I have not, but you know, the Monroney label doesn't include dealer installed stuff, and that's under adjusted market value. Dealer adjusted market value. So that would never appear on the factory Monroney label. Now, if Southeast Toyota is conspiring with their dealer body to try and put together a almost fraudulent looking document that is supposed to be representative of the Monroney label, well, that's something that perhaps the Florida State Attorney General should be looking into, because that ain't right. Federal law requires the Monroney label to be affixed to the vehicle that shows what the manufacturer's equipment level was and what the manufacturer's total suggested retail price is. Not with dealer installed accessories. That would go on an addendum label.
And that document that I just shared with everyone, I think I did a TikTok, essentially compilation of all the Toyota ones. I mean, truly, they all look like that. Whether you're buying from a dealership that gets it distributed from Southeast Toyota or not, like they all come on that type of worksheet that lists everything out. And it's so, I mean, it's supposed to be a mimic of what you're going to see, like what you're actually buying. It feels like, and this is the first time I've ever seen one that has the adjusted market value on it, for the dealer, the dealer markup. It feels disingenuous. It really does. It should be this separate piece. Yeah.
It only feels disingenuous because, well, it is. That's why it feels that way. And that's one of the reasons why we need the stronger FTC rules and regulations regarding how vehicles are allowed to be advertised. And that, if that is on the window of a vehicle as opposed to the Monroney label, and we all know what the Monroney label is supposed to look like because they're the same for every manufacturer, if that's on there in lieu of a Monroney label, well, that's a violation of federal law. Okay. So it shouldn't be that way. It's as you put it, a disingenuous way to share information with a consumer. And really it should be shame on the dealer, and they should be called out for it.
Yeah, and Space is right. Mario, thanks for that comment. It does say at the bottom, let me pull it back up so that we can all see. So it says, this is what gets confusing about this. It says this document is only representative of some of the information contained on an actual window sticker and is not meant to replace or substitute the actual window sticker on the vehicle. But the challenge or issue that I have with how they're presenting this is, again, this is on the formal, from Toyota paperwork.
Yes.
And this is the standard format. I don't know. It's just the first time I've ever seen it listed as an installed package and accessory of just markup.
And it shouldn't be under the fine print at the very end of that, because nobody's going to read that far. Okay, and everybody knows that nobody reads that far, and that just further plays into the way people feel about dealerships, and the reason people feel that dealerships should be renamed stealerships, because they pull crap like that, when truth of the matter is they don't have to pull crap like that. They could just list what the MSRP is. They could say there's a $2,500 market adjustment because there's an inventory shortage, and you could give the customer the right to say yes or no. As I keep saying, market adjustments are simply an ask on on the part of the dealership. They're hoping to get it. They're hoping everybody will agree to it. Okay. But it's an ask, which means A, you can either accept it, B, you can either reject it, or C, you can amend it. You can negotiate part of it. But you don't, as a dealership, you don't have to play a game like that um, in order to sell a car. Be open, honest, transparent. I don't care if it's a $10,000 market adjustment. Just be transparent about it and explain why you feel there is a need on your behalf to collect that money. And either the customer will agree with you or the customer won't agree with you. And with the shortages as severe as they are, more customers than not will agree to pay the money. But just be open and honest about it. I'm done. Whew.
That was good, man.
Yeah, I need more blood pressure medicine. I mean, you do this to me every week. Can I tell you one other, really, you got to be kidding me? You sent me that thing about the new Acura electric vehicle that's going to come out. And I need you to pull up the headline in Automotive News, okay? Because anybody that was with Acura at the time of this particular vehicle can dispute with as much energy as they can muster the fact that this claim is probably the biggest bald-faced lie on the face of the planet. Pull it up for me, please.
Acura ZDX to return as brand's first EV. Acura unveiled the precision EV concept and said the production model will bear the name of a popular but discontinued vehicle, the ZDX.
Yeah. It was so damn popular that nobody would buy them. It was so popular that they begged every one of their dealers to take every one of the ZDXs that they were stuck with and put them into service vehicle service loaner fleets so that they could be given out to their service customers with the hopes that some moron was going to come back after driving and go, I got to have that. Can you sell it to me? It was not a popular vehicle at all. You do not discontinue popular vehicles after a 3 model year run. And for Automotive News, the Bible of the industry, knowing full well that car didn't sell at all, to put that into a headline is just that's terrible. That's journalistic malpractice. I'm sorry.
This is great.
I want to roll tonight, buddy.
This is so much fun. Wow. I bring the data, you bring the emotion. I like it. I like it a lot.
No, I remember sitting in a meeting when I was at the Tisher Acura in Laurel, Maryland, and the factory rep was there, and they played a video for us, and they were talking about how the head of Acura was talking about how we're going to increase sales. We need to increase our sales volume, and we're not going to do it by being in the niche market. Okay, and then they go on and they start touting the ZDX. And I thought to myself, well, you're damn right. You're not going to increase the volume by being in a niche market. You're going into a super niche market. You're going into a market that, well, nobody asked for there to be a market. It's almost like the ZDX was the answer to the question nobody ever asked. Okay. And that question would have been, what can we build that a normal sized human being can't fit in comfortably in the back, but it's a real big ass vehicle. Okay. And B, after we build it, nobody, and I mean nobody, is going to want it.
Man, I love doing this with you. It just put, like, my cheeks hurt. My cheeks hurt from smiling, Dad.
I'm sorry. Just you get me wound up.
But here you can relax because cool. we got a little super sticker. Wait a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I
Ready?
tell you that one of the reviews of the ZDX, I don't know if it was Car and Driver or Motor Trend, but one of them, when they reviewed the car, they said getting into the back seat was like human origami. You needed to be so flexible. It was just it was unbelievable. I mean, I'm a small person, and I couldn't sit in the back seat without my head hitting the roof. It was it was the dumbest vehicle anybody ever made.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Okay, it's enough of that. God, you know, if your mother were alive today, she'd probably shoot me. Um, oh, goodness gracious. Hmm. Okay, what else you got for me? Oh, jeez.
If we all right, I got a question for everyone that's here. If we like drove cross country again and like held
Yeah.
meetups, would people come to them? Would people come hang out with us in real life? Have we built enough of a relationship with people that we would hang out in real life? That's a question.
Well,
Open question.
I don't know if they would, but even if it was only 2 or 3 people, I would certainly enjoy doing it.
I think that could be really cool. Just throwing that
Yeah.
out there. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, all right, we got some yeses. All right, awesome. You guys rock. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, God
Yeah.
bless them. Yes. Okay. You guys, thank you. All right, cool. Maybe we will. Maybe we will. That would be really cool, I think. Okay, one no. One no. That's fair.
Well,
Pops,
yeah.
Vincent just sent in a $20 super sticker. Whoa.
Vincent, it would
Whoa.
be cheaper for you just to become a member and take the 20% discount, my friend. But thank you. Thank you for your generosity. You're up to $30. Was there a super sticker attached to that? Do I have to
Yeah,
do
yeah.
another
But
silly
wait,
ass
wait.
dance?
Yeah, yeah. Let me see. I need more songs, man. I just need more like royalty free songs. But we can do yeah, you like this one.
Thank you. Thank you.
Question for you, Dad. Question for you.
Donation. Yeah.
Question for you. What is
Yeah.
this move?
I don't know. It's certainly I think I was juggling a basketball.
You call that
Yeah.
you call that juggling?
I was trying to make sure the damn thing was still round.
All right, wait. So
Okay.
let's. All right. So teach me here. I'll bring the music back just a little bit. So is it left hand, right hand, or right hand, left hand?
There you go. You got it. Yeah. Now dribble. Oh God.
All right, let's get back on track for at least a moment here. We talked a lot about the bubble and a lot about the ZDX. I want to turn our attention, Dad. You mentioned new cars. Thanks to everyone that sticks with us for all this crap that we do. Toyota's Jack Hollis expects
Yes.
one more year of historically tight inventories. Jack Hollis, head of sales for Toyota North America, says dealership inventory levels won't be able to grow at all until perhaps the third quarter of 2023 and are unlikely to ever return to their pre-pandemic levels. These stand out, Dad. If that wasn't enough,
may I say
out.
something? I
Please.
think their inventories are a lot like me. I'm not going to grow until perhaps the third quarter of 2023, if I were to grow at all. But I seem to be much more like Toyota's inventory levels, and that is that I'm continuing to shrink. Okay.
Yep.
So there's a stronger likelihood I'll actually be shorter this time next year, along with Toyota's inventory level.
There is a very good chance of that indeed, Dad. And what do you see right there? He said, this is incredible. It's called days supply of inventory, not hours supply of inventory. He noted that Toyota dealerships have been down to a 36-hour supply at certain points recently. Dad, the reason I bring this up, there's a lot to unpack here, but you mentioned it earlier. When are we going to see things happen on the new car side? We had a great chat question come in, which was from Carson. What should I expect from buying a car 6 months down the road? Let's break this down by new car and used car. Let's start with new cars, Dad. There are some new cars that 6 months from now you're still not going to be able to buy. And there are some new cars 6 months from now. Let me pull it up on the screen for everyone to see. Like the Ram 2500 4x4 diesel below MSRP. Okay.
Absolutely.
This is from yesterday. So it depends on the vehicle, Dad, but Toyota's making it very clear. You want to buy a Toyota? Not
Yeah,
anytime soon.
if you want to buy a Toyota 6 months from now, you'll be able to pick up the Toyota you left a reservation on today. Okay, but you're not going to be able to walk into your Toyota dealer 6 months from now and expect to find a car on the lot that isn't spoken for that you'll be able to drive home that day. That's not going to happen. The Toyota is telling the world at this moment, especially the consumers in the United States. And I said yesterday, what they're doing is they're trying to train the consumers as to how things are going to be. They're telling everybody we're never going to have inventory levels like we had in the past. Okay, we expect to see more inventory than we have now, but it's going to take a year. It's never going to approach the levels we were at prior to the pandemic. So, folks, if you want a Toyota, you need to place your reservation now with the hopes of getting it from 6 months to a year from now. And that's the way it's going to be. And they're trying to train consumers to just accept that. And the other part of the training is that it then becomes part and parcel that you won't expect to negotiate on it because there are no cars in inventory. So you'll just gladly pay MSRP. And dealers at that point in time should just accept the fact, and they already know the fact, they're not going to sell it for less than MSRP. And the smart dealers will say, we'll sell it to you for MSRP. We're not going to force any additional dealer add-ons on it, and we're not going to charge you a market adjustment.
And Dad, seriously, this comment sums it up really nicely. You know there's a problem when the units of measure are being changed, in this case, from days to hours. I couldn't agree more.
Yes.
That's definitely not a good sign. I saw a comment that came through here. Where was it? Vez saying you should bring in Marcello from Toyota World, Jeff from Toyota Jeff, and Kirk Kreifels. Yeah, we actually, Vez, I encourage you. There's some names on there that we haven't done work with, but if you go over to YouTube, which you're currently on,
yes,
if on YouTube you search for, let's load Ray and Zach. We have a separate channel where we every Monday through Friday do a daily show at noon Eastern. We bring on guests typically on Wednesdays.
yes.
If you go to the Ray and Zach channel here, and if you go to the videos, shouldn't be too far back. Let's see.
It was about 3 or 4 weeks ago that we had Marcello on.
Right there. Toyota seriously has no more cars. How did this happen? Yeah, so we do this daily show at noon Eastern time, 9 a.m. over on the West Coast. And it's also a podcast. If you search for, let's see if I can do it, Daily News, you can use YAA. Yeah, there it is. Pops up right there. Daily News you can use right here. So give us a rating, listen to it, download it as a podcast. So I bring that up simply to say we love those guys. At least we love Marcello. He's been super insightful in helping us understand what's going on in the market, especially up in Canada where inventory is even shorter.
Yes, it is. And we have a, I don't know why, but we have a tremendous following in Canada. And, they depend on us and Marcello and others up there to get, real current news as to what the market conditions are, up in Canada at the moment. And it's worse there than it is here.
Yeah,
if you can believe that.
Scary thought. We had a couple thoughtful contributions come through. David White with his bees, good-looking bees. People are paying $7,000 to $10,000 for bicycles these days. Thank you for the contribution, David. And actually, we need more contributions because I just signed up for an Ironman, and I'm going to probably need to upgrade my bike so I can finish the damn thing. I don't think I need a $7,000 bike, though. That's crazy. That's lunacy.
Yeah. And that's with the market adjustments because they were really like $350 bikes, but they're selling for $7,500 today.
We obviously don't cover cycling, but I mean, there was a bike shortage at the beginning of the pandemic. Now there's actually an oversupply of bikes. Zero Blade, thank you for the contribution. Really appreciate it. I'm looking at a used 2020 BMW X3, 37,000 miles at $53,000. KBB says it's worth about $47,000. Any reason why I couldn't talk them down? The car is bank owned. So let's talk about this, Dad. A couple of things to break down here. First is KBB the real measure I should be using to determine if it's a fair market value? And secondarily, What am I doing to negotiate on a used car like this with your understanding of the market conditions?
Well, if it were me, I would take the VIN number of that vehicle and I would go to joinyaa.com and plug that vehicle information into our selling feature that we partnered with Carwiser. It's a knockoff of Budweiser. No, it's not. It's got nothing to do with Budweiser. But Carwiser will then send that information to 10 to 15 of the public groups out there that are buying cars and get you an instant quote, so you can see what that vehicle would be worth on a wholesale level to the highest bidder. And then can you negotiate with the bank? I would imagine you can. I don't know. I've never really tried. But I would think that if they're asking 53 and maybe their bottom number is 50, I don't know, but you could certainly say to them, hey, I can't go to 53. I can do 49.5 and see if they'll at least talk to you and see if they're willing to negotiate, because if there's a delinquency balance, that's going to fall on the shoulders of the person who originally took out the loan, and the bank gets to write it off anyway.
And Sean has it in the chat. He also mentioned Black Book. Yeah, Black Book would also be a better barometer to understand what a real asking price for that vehicle would be. But just to demonstrate what you were saying, Dad, just head to the website, click on sell, type in either, in this case, it wouldn't be the license plate, but plug the VIN in here. And by the end of the sequence, you'll see what the actual cash values are. And, a rule of thumb that I've thought about that is there's probably some percentage, right? Like Carvana is going to try and make, I don't know, 10% margin or 12% margin. Like, use a little bit of common sense here. And if the price that they're asking is $53,000 and maybe let's say Carvana is the highest bidder and they would only pay 40 for it, it's a pretty good sign that you've got some room to work down and you've got a pretty good justification for why.
Yes.
And market conditions, wholesale values for that particular type of vehicle we know are plummeting week over week.
And I would say the same thing holds for the bank that holds for a dealership. You can't just simply base the selling price of it on what you own it for. The fact that the bank might own it for way more than what it's worth, means that they really should be looking to sell it for what its actual value is, and take care of it from there.
100%, Dad. All right, we've got this from Omar. Thanks for the contribution from Canada. Appreciate it. I just ordered a 2023 Tucson. Should I have waited? No, I don't think so. Do you think so?
No. Why wait? It's just going to take even longer to get.
Yeah, new cars, we don't expect to see anything really different on the new car side anytime soon. That's for damn sure. All right, and Zero Blade, we are here and happy to help. This is partly why we have the membership. And honestly, it reminds me, Dad, this comment that came in, KBB does work. Don't let dealers lie to you, but Cox Automotive owns everything, so you're screwed no matter what. Why do you think now when you go to the Join YAA website, I wish we could show screens from the past compared to today. We're trying to build the Cox Automotive for consumers. In case it wasn't clear to In10Z and everyone, we're trying to build the Cox monopoly, but instead of it being built for dealers, it's built for members. It's kind of a cool concept. It's going to take us more years to finish building it, but yeah. What's up, Pops?
Oh my God, did you see what Randy Schwartz had to say?
Randy, thanks for the contribution. Sorry I'm late, but Ray and Zach, I would love to treat you both to a hoagie from the White House. White House Sub Shop, one of the best sub shops in the United States, in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Randy, thank you for that.
Yes, it is. I'm not going to tell you where in Atlantic City it is. I will just tell you it's on Arctic Avenue. And if you're ever in Atlantic City, you need to get there. You need to try a regular, half a regular, which is about $10, and it's I don't know, it's probably about a pound and a half of food stuffed into some of the finest bread you could ever hope to get anywhere.
Randy, thank you for that. Super thoughtful, and yeah, that's in our neck of the woods when we're down.
Can we send that audio clip to the White House and see if they'll treat us to a free sub?
Maybe, possibly. All right, Raymond, very adorable avatar, Raymond. Raymond asking us, could I bring you to some dealerships with me and act like my dad and brother to help seal the deal? How incredible would this be, Dad? Let's do a cross-country road trip. Let's host a couple meetups, and maybe what we can do is we can like choose one lucky YAA member at every place that we stop, and we could go to the dealership with them. We might not be able to film in the dealership; they would have to sign a release and all that fun
Yes.
stuff. But we could actually go door to door. We could maybe make 5-10 stops across the country, and we could go with an individual member. This could be a 2023 idea that we actually should do. This could be fun.
Yes. No, it could be, even if we can't film within the dealerships, we can certainly film with the customers prior to going into the dealership, and with the customer after
Yeah.
we went into the dealership. So yeah, we just have to commit to doing another cross country road trip. And yeah, I'm up for it. I could do that.
I think that could be really, really cool. It would take a lot of planning to make sure we can actually do it well. So it's not like we're gonna just go leave
Well,
tomorrow.
wait a second, Zach. We never do anything well. We never plan before. We plan during or after the first one. We go, well, maybe we should have done this, or maybe we should have done that. But yeah, I mean, it would take a lot of coordination, but it could be eye opening for us as well, because we could see the different sales techniques and that are used
Yeah.
in different parts of the country.
Yeah. You know what? Cool. All right, I got something to think about. That is something we should absolutely do. Marty wants to know, Dad, looking to sell my Kia GT line all-wheel drive with 1,100 miles, spectacular condition. Where's the best place to sell it? I still think the widget we've got on the website now is probably the best place to start, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, because it's going to get him quotes from 10 to 15 different sources. And he only has to input the information once. And truth be told, you should probably be doing it sooner rather than later,
Yep.
because we are seeing week over week that wholesale values are declining at a rather precipitous rate at the moment.
And I do want to remind everyone, we also have the insurance marketplace. So we partnered up with the major carriers. We are not an insurance carrier. We are not an insurance carrier. We are not the one taking on your risk. We've partnered with the carriers. We set up a marketplace for our members nationwide as well. Of course, we have the extended warranties as always. And I've had so many great meetings. Miss Kimberly Klein's joining me for a few of them next week with a few more credit unions. We are close. I'm very hopeful that by the end of this month, we have our first credit union partners to be able to offer loan origination and refinancing directly through our credit union partners. So if you have not been on the Join YAA website, we got lots of good information right there for you on the homepage. Feeling really proud of what we've been building.
And if you use the code IFS,
What does that stand for?
inflation fighting savings, inflation fighter stuff. It's just we're here to help fight inflation. So you get 20% off on a YAA membership if you opt for the $99.95 yearly membership. I
That
guess
is
that
not
means
what the price is, but that's okay.
what is it these days?
99 flat, not with the 95.
Okay, so that's going to take you down to around $80, and
79.20.
It's still around $80.
Okay.
And if you do the is it $19.99 for the monthly?
Takes it down to
So
$15.99.
that there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. So there's a way to save some money to help you fight inflation in America today.
Caesar wants to know, when is the best time to buy a used car, Dad? With all of the information we see, we started tonight out talking about CECL. If you missed the first 10 minutes of tonight's show, that was all the data. Then we went into dancing. It was the 3 Ds: dad, data, and dancing, okay? Because you were ranting too. Or maybe it was data, then dad, then dancing. Anyway, either way, Caesar, with that being said, I think you're going to see used car prices continue to go down for the remainder of this year. That's my expectation. We might have some weeks where we show the Black Book data and it goes up a little, but I feel like very, very confident you're going to continue to see used car prices decline. So if you don't need to buy a car, don't buy a car right now. If you want
Yes.
to buy a car, think about buying it, I would say 3-6 months from now. That would be my suggestion. What do you think, Dad?
Well, it all depends on there are any number of factors, but if we really do enter into a recession, or if the recession is a little worse than what it is at the moment, the we might see more of a drop in used cars. The thing that could slow down the decline in used car values, wholesale values, and retail side of things is if there is such a severe continued new car shortage. So that would mean that there's going to be shortages both in new and used cars. But the market keeps softening because more and more people have taken themselves out of the market. So, as I said at the beginning, if you don't need to buy a car, don't. If you absolutely must, then go ahead and do it. But if more people take themselves out of the market, if there's fewer and fewer people walking into dealerships agreeing or even looking, and then agreeing to buy a car, that'll cause dealers to lower their prices because that's the only way they know how to get people back in.
Dad, we had a thoughtful contribution here from Eric Nefrin. Come to St. Louis and we'll dominate the dealers. All right, I think I like this road show, Dad. I really do.
Uh,
This is
double
really getting
D's,
exciting.
buddy, dominating the dealers. I like that.
Well, it could be triple D's. Dad's dominating dealers while dancing.
That would
Nope.
be quadruple.
Dad's
Whatever.
leveraging data.
That would be a
Dad's
quartet. What?
dad's dad's delta dancing.
Whatever. Let's just we could perhaps we've been to St. Louis before. We could
Beautiful
do it
city.
again. Yeah.
Ben Spear here, Dad, has a question. So dealership wouldn't give me the VIN number on my new truck. Should I be concerned?
Well, is it built? If it's built, you should be concerned. If it's on the lot, you should be concerned. And the reason you would want the VIN number is so that you could go ahead and make arrangements to get insurance for it prior to actually picking it up. And most dealerships would want you to do that so that you can have insurance on the vehicle when you do pick it up.
I'm getting very nervous that Guy Fieri is just gonna like come out of the wings as a closet YAA, watcher and just hit us with the cease and desist letter. Like, you cannot say triple D on your
Oh,
program anymore.
I said double D.
You
You're
said
the
double,
one that
but I
wanted
said
to,
triple D.
you're the one that wanted to go with triple D's or a quartet of D's. Uh, I'm okay with double D's, dominating dealers. I'm okay
All
with
right,
that.
we're gonna get ourselves in trouble here. Moist toast, Dad. But the comment says the Toyota dealer near me said $1,000 deposit to get in line, and they will call
Yeah.
me when what I want is available, no markup over MSRP. In this market, that's pretty much all you could ask for.
Well, here's the other thing you need to ask for, Moist Toast, is no dealer installed accessories that I didn't ask for, and get that in writing. Get this on a buyer's order as to what the price is going to be. Okay, get it in writing that there's no additional dealer markup and no dealer installed accessories that you didn't want. Have the GM sign it and you sign it. But without that, you don't have as much leverage. I have been going back and forth with a customer who was on a Kia, and he's been waiting 8 months for the Kia, and the dealer just sprung it to him gently that there's like almost $4,000 worth of dealer installed accessories. I listened to the voicemail that the GM left him. Well, that's so that they can make sure that the parts and service departments can still make money, because we have fewer cars. And even if you don't want the accessories and you don't want us to put them on, we're still going to charge you the same $4,000. And he said to me, he said, should I get an attorney? And my question in my follow-up email was, do you have a signed buyer's order stating what the price was going to be? And is it signed by you and the GM? And if you don't need to spend the money on the attorney because you got nothing, unfortunately. So you need to get it spelled out as to what this all entails. So yes, if they're willing to sign that, then go for it.
We need to do a better job bringing more light to this, Dad, because this is the reality for anyone trying to buy a new car right now, unless you're willing to pay a markup, which again, we really
Yes.
suggest, and we love the team over at markups.org. They're building out that list of dealerships who are marking up. We really need to educate people on getting those buyer's order and being prepared for the dealership to say, no, we don't want to do that, and to feel comfortable walking away, because you're really essentially signing up for delayed, typically you want like delayed gratification. This is going to be delayed pain. Because
Yes.
ultimately, what's going to happen is you're going to wait for a considerable amount of time. And man, we're now, yeah, you got me racking my brain, Dad. My Instagram DMs are filled with stories of people showing up and the price wasn't what they thought it was.
This gentleman said to me, he said, we've been waiting 8 months for the vehicle to come in. And even with the stuff that I don't want, it's still cheaper than the other dealers in the area. And I don't feel as if I can walk away from it, because my first suggestion was vote with your wallet, go find a dealer that's not going to do that to you. But he's invested 8 months of his life waiting
Yeah.
for this damn thing to come in. And the sad reality is that they didn't nail down a price and accessories or market adjustments at the time that he left the deposit. That's when you have to do that. Otherwise, you're at the dealership's mercy, and they know you've waited 8 months. So, your only revenge at that point is when it's time to get rid of the vehicle. You never do business with them again, and you tell all your friends and family never to do business with them.
And let's be crystal clear here, because another trend that we're seeing, Dad, is not only the dealership adding on product, which has become unfortunately very commonplace. We are of course seeing MSRPs increase, and I'm thinking of Rivian right now, Dad. They're just getting rid of trim levels, like trim
Yes.
levels that previously existed. And the Ford Lightning is a great example of this as well. The Ford Lightning MSRP is not like a $500 bump year over year. It's on the base trim level, a $7,000 or 17% increase in MSRP. So as
Yes.
consumers, we're getting hit with like a left hook. Maybe it's like a little jab or something like that from the dealer, and then a right hook from the manufacturer. You could think you're buying a car for $40,000. Don't be surprised when it's $55,000, $10,000 in crap and fees and whatnot, and a $5,000 MSRP increase.
Well, those 12 people across America that have actually received a Rivian, those might become really objects that people desire, that they just go up in value, because Rivian will end up going out of business because they ain't doing anything to make friends with any potential customers. And they have a manufacturing facility that has the capability of producing 150,000 units a year, to which they produce like 2,500, and they're thinking of adding a second shift. Well, what the hell do you need a second shift for? Obviously, your first shift isn't getting anything done. I mean, you just have to look at and question the viability of some of these startups as to whether or not they're legitimately going to be around 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now.
Dad, Pizonia, I'll go Pizonia. Thank you for the contribution. What do you think about current sports car market? What is your opinion about buying on Bring a Trailer? Prices seem through the roof right now. Pops, are you familiar with Bring a Trailer, Cars and Bids, websites like that?
We were looking at a car for you on Bring a Trailer once. I remember we found a British car of some kind that we
Yeah, it was cool.
were following, and it was really a pretty neat car. And those vehicles bring an arm and a leg, and the backstories about the vehicles, the pictures. I mean, there's you could go blind looking at all the pictures that they post for each car, and you're competing against others out there that have the same interest in that type of car that you have. And that's why the prices get as outlandish as they get, because they're far and few between. Are they good deals? If you can get one, I guess. If it's the only one out there and you want it,
yeah, exactly. It's
a good deal.
Exactly. This is one of those moments where good deal is a state of mind, because you're also buying a car on Bring a Trailer or Cars and Bids that is not a need car, it's a want car. So
exactly, yeah. It's if you can get it, it's a good deal. If you're looking at those type of vehicles, you're not shopping for a good deal. You're shopping for something that reminds you of your youth, or something that you've always dreamed about attaining. So you don't put it in terms of it as a good deal or as a bad deal. It was a deal. You were able to scratch an itch. Um, and just look at it like that. It was like when I had the golf store and people used to come in and say, well, do I need the Big Bertha Woods? And I used to look at them and go, I don't know if you need them, but do you want them? And they go, yeah, you're damn right I want them. Well, then buy them. Doesn't matter whether or not you need them. When I was in the golf business, I wasn't in the need business because nobody needed any of that stuff. I was strictly in the want business. And that's what Bring a Trailer is. It's just the want business. It's, do you want it? And are you glad that you were ultimately the highest bidder on it? And if you're happy that you were, then it was a great deal.
100%. I want to pull up Yash's comment here. Can you suggest which SUV hybrid under 40,000 with good availability can go for, don't want to pay over MSRP? I do not know the answer to this, but I'm wondering if anyone in the community has some suggestions. And Yash, this is a perfect example of why we built the community forum, which there's a free and a premium section, but join yaa.com/community, post that question there. And I promise you, just give it 24 hours or so. You're going to get responses. You'll get some ideas. Yeah, let's go here to Aries. Thank you, Aries, for the contribution.
Aries.
Dealer, yes, to order Forerunner on a $500 deposit, but refuses to sign the buyer's order. What if you sell to other or increase the price when it arrives? They say our dealer in the YAA dealer list. So, Dad, let's put yourself in this person's shoes. How are you handling a situation like this? Are you simply trying to find another dealership?
I am.
You are, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Every time we had a customer order a Mini from us, we had them sign the build sheet and they got a copy of it, so that there was no question about what it was that we were ordering. We printed up the buyer's order with what the pricing was going to be, that was signed by me and the customer. We didn't want there to be any question about what the price was going to be when the vehicle came in. That's the right way to do it. If you're a dealership and you say to, well, you just have to believe us. It's, we'll honor it. Honor what? There's nothing in writing. There's nothing that there's a signed commitment for. So no, if they won't sign anything, I wouldn't give them my $500. That's just me.
Our honor doesn't carry a lot of weight, unfortunately, in this industry because of the horror stories. I'm not suggesting that dealership would do something nefarious. It's just the industry. Let's go here to Alex. Pops, Alex, thanks for the contribution. Is the process of buying a new car the same at age 19, or is it a much more difficult process? And we have if you Google search first-time car buyer space the letters YAA, videos, our guides will pull up on this. So Alex, please be sure to do that. But Pops, give you the floor here. What if I'm a first-time car buyer? I'm 19. What do I need to know?
Well, that whatever salesperson and sales manager you end up meeting with has, many, many, many more years of experience at doing this than you do. They know that you probably know very little. They will get you to concentrate solely on payment. They won't have you concentrate on term payment and down payment. You're going to get taken advantage of the first time around, more than likely, unless there's a dealership that your parents have done business with, where there's a salesperson there that you've been referred to that you feel comfortable with. But at 19, you don't know what you don't know. And what you don't know is a lot when it comes to how you negotiate a car, what kind of tricks dealerships try to...
But Pops.
This
is why we do what we do here, right? So go to deal school, all that stuff. Oh, okay.
Well, I was going to get to now you could go to deal school at YAA, where we have a whole series that will explain to you how the car buying process works, the things that you need to look for, so that you can at least be somewhat prepared when you go in. So get educated.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the key. One of our favorite sayings is knowledge is power, but the truth of the matter, it's applied knowledge that is power. So get educated, take notes, go to deal school, so that you have a better understanding. Join our community, ask questions so that our community members can help you, and they will. So, yeah, education is key.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. David here, Pops. More bees. We appreciate it, David.
Yeah.
Should be marked car sat for months needing parts. Should be marked car. What do you think it means? Should be marked car sat for
Oh,
months needing parts.
okay, maybe, yeah. Yeah, okay, I think that's what he's saying. If a car has been sitting for months, perhaps a dirt mountain, in Ford's case, should that be notated somewhere on that vehicle?
Interesting. Okay, maybe.
Yeah, I would think it should be, but most dealers aren't going to tell you that. You have to look at the production date on the inside of the driver's door panel to see when it was built.
James with a thoughtful, very cute avatar as well. We love that this is a family broadcast, by the way. So we only use PG language here. We appreciate that everyone does that as well. Cute avatar, James. Super sticker Pops. That means we're going to get as far from PG as we get PG-13.
Yeah, that basketball's never felt better than it's feeling right. Is that a phone call?
You gonna shoot? Are you gonna shoot or am I gonna shoot? Oh, I'm passing to you. Hey, good form, man. That was good. That was
Yeah,
nice.
that's all I got is form.
All right, Dad. We've got Elliot. He is yelling to us. How much does the service department employee makes? They always upsell. Shed a little light. Is there a reason they're upselling Pops in the service department?
Well, that's they get paid a commission. Most of them, most get some type of salary plus a commission, and a lot of it is also based on good customer feedback. They have to have good service CSI. It's like anything. There's people that make next to nothing being service advisors, and good service advisors, make six figures. Good techs can make a couple $100,000 or more. So it depends.
It totally does. It totally does.
Yeah.
All right, Dad. I want to end tonight with this from Too Much. Dad's demolishing the dealers. That could be the merch that we wear when we do our cross country tour. I also will say, if anyone wants to comment, Kristen left earlier and she said good night. If you want to say good night, we will happily respond and wish you a good night as well. I had a lot of fun tonight, Pops.
Well, I did too. It's always fun to be here on a Saturday night to answer as many questions as we can, to go over as many different topics as we can, and then to allow me the opportunity to rant a little bit about some of the things that I see in the industry that are just silly or stupid or just out and out lies. So yeah, no, I had a great deal of fun tonight, and I'm looking forward to that cross country trip whenever it may be.
Yeah, I'm thinking 2023. We'll do something in 2023. Yeah. I think that would be really special. I think that could be really fun. It'd be great to spend more time one-on-one with our community and also film those videos with people that are going and buying cars in the moment. Such a great idea. Super excited about it. And Too Much, I'll check my email. We might be going to, what was the restaurant? It was a Tex-Mex restaurant in Atlanta. Yeah.
Papacitos. Come on, I haven't forgotten. Yeah.
Sounds
good. A little Tex-Mex before the football game. Who doesn't want a little bit of gas with their football?
And on that note, Dad, say goodnight to Georgina and let's get out of here.
Good night, Georgina. Thanks for being here tonight. We'll see you all again, next Saturday on this channel. And for those of you who can't get enough of us during the week, we'll be on the Ray and Zach channel with more news that you can use from YAA. It's live, noon Eastern, 9 Pacific.
No, don't pay a markup on a new Civic. Ask on the community forum. Go to markups.org. Don't pay a markup. Their inventory's short, but don't pay the markups. Good night, everyone. Thanks for being here.